And I do have this from the news feed in the Slack channel. Thank you for whoever submitted this. I think it was maybe Manny. I think Manny was the good lad who sent this in. And this is a Kentucky toddler missing since Sunday, found alive in remarkably good condition. So I'm going to break. This is kind of a missing 411-esque story. And I thought I had covered this, but it turns out this was a different story. It just had very similar kind of things. Like a few months ago, we talked about this kid who went missing and said that a bear helped him survive, that a bear took him and kept him safe for a few days.
We read this one already?
That's what we read before. This is a different kid. And so I'll play this news story, and we'll see if there's any similarities between this. Maybe a bear helped this kid too.
Kentucky, where a toddler who went missing Sunday night was found alive, a little dehydrated, but in good condition. ABC's TJ Holmes is on the scene in Kentucky with the story. Good morning, TJ.
TJ.
Hey, good morning to you, George. Search teams that were out yesterday said they had switched their mindset from a rescue mission to a recovery mission. They simply didn't think or have high hope that a 22-month-old could survive 40-degree nights, the tough and dangerous terrain, the conditions for all those days. But just as they were out thinking that maybe they might recover a body, two rescuers say they looked up, saw a little blonde head sticking out and blue eyes looking right back at them. Little Kenneth was ready to come home.
Praise the Lord, he brought him home.
This morning, 22-month-old Kenneth Howard is safe after an excruciating 4 days of searching on horseback with dogs, drones, choppers, all combing the terrain near his family's home in eastern Kentucky, where little Kenneth wandered off on Mother's Day in sweatpants and a t-shirt.
Thank you to everybody that did help us. I mean, thank you so much.
Wednesday afternoon, rescue crews were able to finally locate Kenneth, calm and seemingly unafraid. There he is, draped in blankets by rescue workers after being found 1,700 feet from his home. He had somehow made it to a 50-foot-high cliff and endured overnight temperatures in the 40s.
I'm going to be right behind you.
When rescuers reached him, he was cold, wet, and dehydrated, but other than that, in pretty good shape.
I'm going to pause right there. I'm going to play the rest of this. So they found him 1,700 feet away, 50 feet up, and a 22-month-old did this? Bullshit. Play the rest of this.
That's a badass 2 months.
Thank God.
Thank you.
It's what's going to keep him on his feet.
Rescuers say it was Kenneth's cries that led them his way amidst a dense forest.
We had a team effort in the last 4 days, and we really did not give up, although today was looking like we had exhausted all of our areas. Fortunately, one of the teams who has an expert tracker with them heard a cry, and with further investigation, they found the 22-month-old child.
Well, investigators tell me it was only a matter of 8 minutes that Kenneth's dad kind of lost track of him, and that gave him enough time to get a head start and get out there in the wilderness. Again, he's in really good condition, physical condition. But of course, he's only 22 months old, so he doesn't talk a whole lot. But George, clearly, he's got a story to tell.
Yeah, and apparently he can run as well. Okay, TJ, thanks very much. Just bringing Chief Michael Brown of the Prestonburg Fire Department. Got some of your other rescuers there as well. Congratulations, Chief. Take us to that moment when you heard that first cry.
Well, we were doing a grid search and had gone down in a valley that had some pretty rough terrain and low visibility because of the foliage that was there. And when we got down there, we were doing a PAR check, so we were checking on each person on the team to make sure everybody was okay. And it was at that point that firefighter Michael Tussey had spoke up and said that he had heard what he thought was a child's cry. So at that point, we all got quiet and started calling the child's name. And at different times, sporadically, he would give us a cry, and we had to try to pinpoint his location. And we got 3 or 4 cries from him, and 2 of the guys made their way back up the hill, and he was sitting there on the top in a little flat there.
Sitting there on the top and in pretty good condition.
Absolutely. Yes, he was. Surprisingly, a couple of us felt he was in better condition than what we were after we made it back up the hill.
And he was then airlifted to the hospital. You know,
I'm going to pause right there. So it's doing. I've been going through the article trying to see if the searchers had already went through this area. I mean, it's 1,700 feet from the house. You'd imagine that within the first 24 hours, they probably may cover that depending on terrain. And there's no, it's not mentioned in the article. What is kind of curious is that this happened in eastern Kentucky. And there's been a lot of paranormal stories from eastern Kentucky. Now, it's not bordering right up against West Virginia, but it's right there. It's eastern Kentucky. There have been a lot of accounts from concerning UFOs, cryptid sightings out there, Kentucky goblins. You can call them whatever you want. But a lot of stories coming from eastern Kentucky. And this is just, I want to know, like, what the mindset of the search and rescue team was when they finally heard this case. Like, we know they probably we searched this area before. They probably did, and they didn't hear these cries beforehand. 1,700 feet is not that far, Joe. Not that far. They probably had a canvassed area. They probably would have heard the screams within that time period.
Yeah, 1,700 feet. No, I mean that's how much square footage some houses have.
Yeah.
Right, 1,700 feet.
About
No, 1,700. That's a lot. Wait, 700? Wait, how much?
1,700 feet is just under half a mile.
Okay. 1,700? Can you say it that way?
1,700 feet.
I'm confused.
We're all confused now.
Yes.
But he went missing on Sunday. He was found on Wednesday.
So it's like 1,700.
1,700 is what we're talking about.
Jesus, God threw me. My brain is rattled.
2? Maybe 4?
Maybe 4. Maybe 4 feet from the house is where they found him. But 1,700, I would imagine you get a few hundred feet out, and you have the search and rescue team that they're going to run. They're going to hear the kid, especially if it's that cold. 22 months old. I can't believe he wasn't crying nonstop. He got the terrible twos. Kids are constantly crying at age 2.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's not adding up. This is like another missing. I'm going to say missing 411 type of account. It just doesn't make sense. Thank God the kid got found alive. My Lord, Joe.
Yeah, that's a wild one.
And I have to play this just because it's David Paulides.
Oh, I hit the glory hole right here.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to talk about glory holes and 22-month-olds.
No, it's not appropriate. Not appropriate. Not appropriate.
The politest clip saying that, like,
I don't know.
Is he joking?
I don't.
Oh, I hit the glory hole right here.
I think he wanted to say, I hit the mark right here. Or I hit the something right here. Like, oh, he really found something important. And I guess in his mind, what's important is a glory hole.
Oh, I hit the glory hole right here.
I'm just trying to convey. I'm not saying he's into that. I've been trying to convey what he said. He said it.
It's like, keep fucking that chicken.
Yes. Like, what did he mean?
Like, what is that about?
Keep fucking that chicken.
It's tough. We're just playing the clips, people. We're just trying to work through this as best we can.
If you want to join the Slack or Discord, give us an email at ourbigdumbmouth@gmail.com. Check out obdmpod.com for all the social media and donation links. Be a part of the magic.